Welcome, everybody. My name is John Pinecker. I'm the Business Development Specialist here at the Mojave Valley Daily News. We're going to be talking to you a little bit today about Census. I know that everybody has seen a lot of information out there and a lot of advertisements out there, but we have the expert here. We have Anthony Kozlowski, who is the assistant to our city manager, Toby Cotter.
Thanks for having me, John.
He is also our lead of the Complete Count Committee.
That's right.
Bullhead City Census Complete Count Committee. So I'm going to just spend a little bit of time here lobbing softballs to Anthony, and he can answer hopefully all your questions on what the census means to the city, what is all involved in it, and important dates and that we have coming up. So tell us about the census, what it means to our community.
Sure. As I hope everybody knows, Census Day, April 1st, is 2 days away. It's this Wednesday. So if you haven't completed your census form online or by phone, please do so. The federal government really wants everybody to do that on April 1st so we can have as much of an accurate count as we possibly can. Up to this point, the city has really done a great job of using social media, the billboards on the highway. If you haven't seen those, I don't know how you haven't. They've been everywhere and have been up all day long and all night. We've done great jobs on radio as we try and do our best to get the public involved and let them know just how important this is to our community. For those who don't know, the city loses about $400 per person per year, so that impacts us quite substantially over a 10-year period. We believe that we were undercounted quite significantly 10 years ago. So if we're undercounted again this time around, we could potentially lose millions of dollars that could go towards our parks, our roads, our police department, and other services that your kids, your grandparents, and you use on a daily basis.
Right, so you mentioned the internet and phone. So in the past, you've strictly been able to just mail in your ballot or your questionnaire. If they didn't receive it by a certain time, then they'd send the foot people out to knock on your door. This is the first time in history that you've been able to do it via the internet, correct?
Right. The Census Department really wants 50% of our population to do it online. And those individuals can go to my2020census.gov and complete that form. Our community is a little different. We do have a lot of low-income, hard-to-count areas across the community that might not have access to a computer. So it's very important that they know that they can use their phone, call in, and complete their census form that way by calling 1-844-330-2020.
Right, and so we'll get to the phone number as well. There's also a Spanish version of the phone number where if you're Spanish speaking, you can use that number as well.
Exactly. There's about 12 or 13 different languages that the census is offering.
And we talked about April 1st, so that is the day that whoever I have living in my house on April 1st, that's who I count, correct?
Yeah. If you have a roommate, somebody visiting, if you're a snowbird and you're still in Bullhead City, you should be counted in Bullhead City on April 1st.
Great. And then you mentioned some of the areas that we have a hard time with. One of the opposition, or one of the reasons for opposition to the census that we've heard is maybe some of our areas are concerned about citizenship questions. Are they on there or not?
No, there's no citizenship question on the census survey. It's a 9-question survey. It's fairly short. It'll take you less than 10 minutes to complete. They ask no sensitive information. They don't ask you for your social security card number. They don't ask you how many rooms are in your home, how much income you make. There's none of that you have to be worried about. And the census is truly one of the safest systems in our federal government. They haven't been breached. They're very secure, and they don't share their information with any local or state law enforcement.
Yeah, that was my next question. What happens with the information? Does ICE get it? Does the PDs, local government, federal government, anybody have access to it?
No, the census does not share their information with any local, state, or federal law enforcement agency.
Okay. You kind of touched on real quick some of the areas that the money goes to. I have a list here for you. Schools, hospitals, which I had no idea hospitals, the fire department, the police department, our parks, youth sports, which was a surprise to me. The Little League team gets to use fields with lights on it and all that because of money that's coming in. The recreation department, the senior center, the senior nutrition center, roads, public transportation, animal welfare, social services, libraries, economic development. It goes on and on and on. It's a significant amount of people that receive a portion of this pie.
Right, right. Yeah, and a lot of it is grant funding through the federal government that goes to schools and hospitals and things like that. But for Arizona, it's strictly based off of population. So they get a large sum of money that they have to divvy up to every community across the state solely based on population. So if we don't grow and cities in Phoenix continue to grow and get larger and larger, that sum of money gets smaller for us.
Another thing that I'm thinking that a lot of people out here don't know, but Anthony is really our go-to when it comes to state and federal government on bills that are coming through the government and our state and federal government. So one of the things that people may not know is that part of the census is allocation of senators and state senators and all that as well.
That's right. This could determine if we potentially get another congressman in Arizona based off population. And all indication, people are saying that California will potentially lose a seat, and that seat could potentially come into Arizona based off of the number of people leaving that state for communities like ours. So.
And when we talk about our state representatives, we have 3 in the area. We have 2 House of Representatives, Biasucci and Kelly Ward.
No, Biasucci
Regina Cobb.
Regina Cobb.
Regina Cobb.
Hopefully she doesn't watch this.
Yeah, sorry, Regina. And then we also have Senator Borelli.
Right.
We have 3 representatives in our area versus the hundreds that they have down in Maricopa and that. So we have 3 rural representatives fighting for our area against everybody in the great state of Maricopa. So.
And those are our state representatives.
Yeah.
And we also have Congressman Gosar,
federal
who's our
yeah.
federal representation.
Yeah. So it's very important. All right, I'm going to throw a couple complaints at you that I've heard, and you give me your take on them. The questions are too invasive.
It's false. They're really simply asking you for your age, your race, your ethnicity, how many people live in your home, and they're asking this for every person that lives in your home. So if you are a household of 1 or 2, this should really take you 5 to 10 minutes while you're watching your favorite TV show at home.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the complaints is that it takes too long. I have compiled a list of things that take longer than filling out your census. You ready? For most of us, running a mile takes longer than it would take to, back in the day. But yeah.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. Talking with a real person when you call either Suddenlink or Frontier.
I've been on hold for an hour, so.
Yeah, that for sure takes a lot longer. Getting from your seat up to the counter at the DMV, right?
Well, now there's no seats at the DMV anymore.
No?
There's just a line.
It's been a while since I've been there. The songs In-A-Gadda Da Vida or Don McLean's American Pie. Both of them, if you started the song, you'll be done with your census before the song is over. Picking a movie on Netflix for sure takes a lot longer than that. And finally, vacuuming the house. I have that on good authority that takes longer than I no personal experience, but I'm just saying. Another complaint, ID theft. People are worried about that, or scams.
There are scams out there, but again, if you are getting emails and notifications from the census claiming to be the census and asking for your social security card information or asking for money or donations, it is a scam. Don't provide that information, but you should never provide that information if you feel uneasy about that, because the census from the federal government does not ask information like that at all.
Okay. So the dates with the COVID thing going on, the dates have been revised. Can you give us kind of a revised schedule of when we can expect this needs to be in, and if they haven't received it, when they're going to start sending out the foot soldiers to knock on your doors?
Sure. Most households should have received probably your second mailer from the census at this point. If you haven't received a mailer, or your invitation to respond, please contact the city. You can also, if you haven't received that form, just go online and complete your census without your 12-digit invitation number as well. There's also, with the census and with everything that's going on, they have pushed back sending people out into the community. This will probably push back into May, June. They hope to be back up in mid to late April with being able to interact with the community and possibly hold a number of events and things like that regionally. But they are still hiring. They hope to begin training at the end of April, so they can be ready for May or June. So that's their hope as of right now.
Well, but the thing we have to remember is that if the more people that send in their information, the less people have to be brought in to do this, which means the less money that it's going to cost the taxpayers to pay these people. That's all coming out there. So
that's right. If you don't want somebody to come to your door and knock on your door and bother you, especially with everything that's going on, complete your census form online or by phone.
Now, the city has set aside some money to help motivate people to do this. The Mojave Valley Daily News, in conjunction with the city, is going to be doing a contest coming up. We'll have more information for you. Please keep an eye on our Facebook page, and when that comes out, it's going to be kind of a big deal. We got a lot of great prizes coming from the city to help these people. So, anything else you want to throw in?
I can't stress enough the importance. If you need help or have any questions, please reach out to the city. We'd be happy to assist you in completing that application and getting your census form finished.
We'll put Anthony's private cell phone number at the bottom of this video when we send it out.
That works. I have dreams. I eat, sleep, census 24/7, so that's fine.
It's important. We need you guys to go out and fill out your information. All right? Thank you, and stay tuned.
Thank you.